everybody, and welcome.
Tonight, we are thrilled to present to you an encore screening of The Verdict, a film entirely shot in Austin, Texas. All of it. And by Austin filmmakers to boot. So you will see those who are involved are very much part of the Austin landscape.
So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. The Verdict. Krishna Sankar and Aditya Rao to please come on stage. A big round of applause for this talented congratulations to all of you. Good to see you are out of prison.
I'm sure you close. I'm on bail.
Agitated. But so I think this is another extension of your screening on Saturday. So they had an Austin premiere on Saturday, a red carpet event, which is a lot of the cast and crew and supporters. And today seems like an extension because I could, hear all of you and you're like completely invested in the film, which is amazing. So how does it feel?
Sweet, please. Feels great. I mean, Austin's home, obviously, and I was just, standing in the back and sitting in front and just, I've seen the movie obviously millions of times, but I was just listening to the so it was good to hear the ha-hoos, at the right spots. So that's always there's the right feeling and what we're looking for to see if the people are absorbing the movie the right way. So that was really great to hear and the right moments. And even though I'm the bad guy, I'm getting arrested. I felt good when the people were actually feeling good about it. So
it's just amazing. This crowd was just brilliant. Certain places, I did find some people were able to hit what I want them to. Some of the hints I was giving in the film, I think some of those people got it because I was able to hear this, them talking about, oh, you know what, this is what's happening. So that's brilliant. I'm amazing all this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
this is the first time I've composed for a feature-length film. So to be, I wasn't cue for you to clap. But to be on the other side and actually, I have definitely seen the movie, I think 1,000 times. Or less, probably more. Because I have to sit through 2.5 hours of this and figure out every second of every emotion and try to bring out the emotion musically. So I've definitely seen it so many times to the point where I'm almost jaded for every second of the film. And to have interesting reactions from you guys is new to me because I've co-arranged music for films in the past, but this is the first time I've made music for an entire feature film. So to hear your anger, to hear your laughter, to hear your emotions, to deceit, etc., is very, very interesting. So thank you guys for joining us on this.
And beautiful music. So I do want to say that Aditya has done the music and the soundtrack for the film. And how many songs did you do?
It ended up being 7 songs for the album, and then the music that you got for the whole film.
So the film is going to be released in India first, and the soundtrack is also going to be released along with the film. So coming back to you, Krishna.
Yes.
First feature film, a whodunit, like that's one of the hardest genres. So how do you start with something like that as a first feature?
How can I start? So it was a very interesting journey. We doing theaters for 20 years and then come from a very theatrical family. So I've done short films. I've been part of television soaps in India, acted in all those things. So, but transitioning is not a big deal. But the experience with to work with such an award-winning artist and with my friend, my brother here, it was a very interesting journey. Yep, that's all I can say at this point. I'm very happy the way it has come back.
Excellent. And talk a little bit about your partnership. So they have, for those of you who don't know, they have collaborated. They both Prakash and Krishna have collaborated on various projects before this. I was curious, Prakash. This one was something, according to Krishna, you kind of instigated that we need to get into feature films. So, considering you're the lead in the film, was that like a, if I'm the lead, then I'll help you produce the film?
Let me take that one. Let me take that. So actually not. What happened was we were actually casting for another big name from South India. That guy was extremely busy. So we tried to contact him, and then I was talking to him who else we can do. And then suddenly he hit me. He has been doing lead in my play for more than 15 years or something. So I said, why can't you do this? He said, are you kidding me? I don't want to do this. I'm going to get a bad name. He said, it doesn't matter. You can do it. So that's all. Right.
No, I mean, obviously the character is not the cleanest one. So it's interesting to play a character. I mean, I enjoyed it at the end of the day, but the way it turned out, like, the way it happened was actually kind of coincidental. But I hope you guys liked it. So.
Ooh, with hair. So I know you have some very big name actors who are part of your project, and it's kind of very exciting that they were in Austin for the shoot. Your first film, and you're directing all these national award-winning actors. Your first debut on screen for a feature, acting opposite somebody who's like super seasoned, and so talk a little bit about how that went, and what were you intimidated? Were they helpful? How did it work?
No, surprisingly, I wasn't intimidated. I think it's probably because of the training I have from him in theater for many years. So I was in a comfort zone, so it didn't feel. And then having made films at a smaller scale before, it didn't feel like a new thing for me, even being front of camera in some ways. I think what was more exciting was to actually just watch them, because I think their process was interesting. The way each of them approached the character was interesting. You could tell that somebody like Suhasini is a veteran. How she approached, I mean, the ease which she does it is so, like, you can just sit there and keep watching. So I was just a kid in a candy store just for most of the time. And then when I was asked to play my character, he gave me clear instructions and asked me to keep it subtle, as you could tell. And that's what I did. Pretty much.
Yeah. Working with that.
Yeah. So honestly speaking, the whole project initially we planned to have local talent, local talent. My friend who is in the industry in India, Gopi Krishnan and Raji Gopi Krishnan, I kind of went to India for a visit. I just told him the storyline. He said, the storyline looks good, but why are you doing with local artists? Let's bring in some big artists. Who do you think can do this? I'm like, person like Hasini maybe. He just picked up his phone, called Suhasini and talked to her. I'm like, dude. Then, it happened, and then I said, okay, now I need to talk to the producer. Someone is putting money here. So immediately we connected with Prakash. Prakash said, if you can get them, let's go for it. And then for the attorney, defense attorney, I said, a person like Varalakshmi, who is a very dynamic and dynamic person, will be good. He picked up the phone, called her and gave the phone, called to her. So everything started, everything got arranged so fast. Before even I realized I have all these big artists in my hand. And I'm like talking to Prakash, dude, this is becoming big. He said, I know. So then he started working his financials and everything. The support Prakash gave me this project to this phenomenal. I cannot, thanking him this thing, really, I cannot do that. Because this is my bit whatever. So the support he gave was unbelievable. Of course, this man, I've tortured him a lot. But look at the capacity of my buddy here. He's unbelievable. So the kind of came together, and immediately everybody liked the script. Suhasini liked the script. Varu liked the script. Vijudeka and Shruti Hariharan. Everybody liked the script. He said, let's do this. And the biggest support I got was, I didn't expect these people to be so talented. Everybody said, oh my, Suhasini is a 2 times national award winner. Shruti Hariharan is a national award winner. So you got to be careful. They have expectation. Man, they're so dope. kind of support the. If I say no, it should not be there, we should say, okay, good, let's not do that. So that is what amazing thing for me. So everybody was, I was scared, because these people are big names. So it was very, very beautiful.
Can you say something?
Yeah, these guys approached me randomly. We were at a friend's wedding, and Krishna was serving some food to someone, and he was like, "Aditya, come here." I go, "Hey, I have a script for you." So, what do you mean a script? Like a short story or some ad that you're making for a local Austin thing? Like, no, it's a feature-length film, and I think you should do the music for it. I just looked at him weird. I'm like, what? I'm a singer, musician, and producer at first, but I've never done feature-length film. So how are you going to place this much trust in me? But that's how it all started out. They even said, they were shopping this film around with some well-known, well-established leading music directors and composers that you guys all know. But they said we want to bring in some local talent, and they asked me if I'd be interested in doing it, and I very blindly said yes. So the journey that I've been through, or they started shooting in September last year. So the journey that I've been through from then to now has been probably a lifetime's worth of learning, because I wasn't a music major. I was a finance major, and I did like all very normal business sort of things before I went into music full time. So I used to dabble in music, and I've created music, or rather produced music for my individual singles, but to expand my knowledge and creativity to this scale and to this level was nothing short of a miracle, but I'm forever thankful to you guys. But one thing I want to know about Prakash is, yes, he's also the producer on top of being an actor. So I went on set a handful of times when they were shooting. From the moment they say action to cut, he's one character. From cut to the next time he gets back on stage, he is the producer trying to figure out how to pay for the next meal, doing this, doing that. So I have no idea how he balanced both of those sides, but he is the king of parallel pathing, I've always said a million times. But kudos to you, man.
He definitely is. He knows how to manage it. So, did you watch a lot of movies of the genre before you kind of dove into it?
Yeah, they gave me some guidance as to what type of films to watch in multiple languages. I watched all that, and then something sort of happens where your upbringing with your background of the music that you listen to growing up also blends into this sort of story. So I do feel that we've come up with a very unique product compared to what's out there. So let's see what happens.
Cool. Okay, so I have two quick questions, after which we will open it up for audience questions. So just because we don't want to run out of time, we want to take as many questions as we can. I'll request you to please come up and stand in front or stand on the side so that we can just pass you the microphone and you can ask questions quickly. So keep your questions ready. Yes. So will you give me 2 minutes for 2 more questions, and then we'll open it up. I have a question about your characters. They're all the main characters are all South Asian, Tamil speaking. And when I watched the movie, while I understand it's a whodunit, it's a story of friendship, right? The bonding and friendship. But I was very curious, did you consider any of the main South Asian characters to be either non-South Asian or South Asian but non-Tamil speaking at any point when you were writing it?
Absolutely. In fact, I was thinking an American should do at AFM. But the thing is, it's for the market, right? At the end of the day, it should be a marketable product in India. So that, especially if we are talking about South India and the Indian film industry. So if you see there are a lot of English lines in this. So if you're going to have an American playing Eliza, even other characters, it's all going to be a lot of more English, right? So we just want to restrict that. Plus, we wanted to have a name brand person for marketability. That's why we picked up, all the core characters to be Southern youths. Yeah.
And Tamil speaking. Okay, that's interesting. I thought maybe because you're trying to show an immigrant community in the US, so we all bond around language, and to me it seemed very natural. So when I'm watching it, it seems like okay that it doesn't feel forced or artificial or weird. So My next question is, and then we'll open it up, is so while the rest of us are trying to move on from COVID, you went back into that world. Was that essential to your plot, or did you ever consider writing this kind of a thing in a different ways?
I always wanted to do full blown COVID based script actually. So I also always thought about it. But this one I needed it because he's a nurse and he's trying to kill somebody. This is the best way to do it.
Okay, that's awesome. So can we are opening it up for questions. You want to come in front would be awesome.
I'll be first. On the video, the student that each on stage.
Thank you. So you mentioned that you watched some movies for inspiration, and I'm just curious what those were. And I would also like to say I love the movie. Fantastic.
Such. One movie is like a King of one. It's called Few Good Men. I think we basically decide, I don't know if you saw it, but the color of the courthouse and the color of this courthouse is very similar from Few Good Men. There's a lot of when we're thinking about color correction and grading, that was one of the references we gave is make it like Few Good Men. And I think maybe that's one of the movies you saw as well, right? Yeah. So that's definitely one of the first we saw. I don't know if you saw it. It's Lincoln Lawyer, yeah.
How like let's see as we saw this. Again, yeah. So again, we really see. I really want to even though I saw these things, all these for inspiration, but I'm a strong supporter of women. So I want to have a very feminist-based subject. So even the game Prakash always asks me, why are you always supporting women? Not that it's wrong, he just asks me. Yeah. So just that, I want, how about this woman trying to set this guy up? So that's why, it all happened.
Really enjoyed the movie, fantastic job, you two, amazing. And Prakash, I think you did a great job. I think you really, really lived up to the role. I think you can do that character as well. My question is for Aditya. I know I've definitely listened to a lot of your songs. I also know that you did some of the music, at least for the songs in Rocketry before. But this one is really truly, a feature-length film. That is a pretty intimidating thing to do, I think, at least the way I think about it. So can you really talk about how do you transition from that to this? I know you said you watched it over 1,000 times, and then making it for probably with an Indian audience in mind, and you've done a lot of work here. So maybe I was just curious, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's so when I transitioned to being a full-time musician, that was right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and I didn't have enough money to hire producers, composers, etc. So I had my laptop and I had YouTube. Learned how to make music on Logic Pro, which is the dog choice for this entire film, and that's how I started to produce music. So I probably made 30 to 50 really terrible songs before I started to clear my mind and had that headspace to compose music that is actually worthwhile for someone like you to listen to. So that's how my composing career began. And even for this project, it's not like we went and hired some huge symphony orchestra or rented out a studio for me to produce. I have a very small setup in my bedroom that we've converted into a co-working office between my wife and I, who is not in the music industry, but she's working at PayPal during the day. I'm at this L-shaped desk with a small 1-octave keyboard with some drum pads on the side and a monitor this way. And then the walk-in closet is now my vocal booth. And believe it or not, that is where this entire movie was composed. The only places where we actually rented out a studio was a dear friend of mine, Will Shine, who was here on the red carpet premiere day. we had to track him playing drums. So we rented out a studio so that his drums can be tracked because I just don't have space or enough mics to record drums in my house. That was done. And then I went to Chennai in January of this year to record all the female artists that you heard on the clips of songs that you had featured. All wonderful artists, Shakti Sri Gopalan, Priyanka NK, Kritika Nelson, and Shraddha Ganesh, who is from Canada but lives in Chennai now. And then we also, is he here today?
He's not here.
Krishnamurthy is, he made his fame in Super Singer, and he lives here in Austin, so we utilize Krishnamurthy for a really lovely segment of the film. So I had a really wonderful opportunity to make music with the limited resources that I have, and hoping that this will lead to probably a more legit studio so I can make better music for you guys.
Aditya, that was a fantastic explanation for what you have produced. Just listening to the whole score for the entire movie, I was just blown away on things.
Right.
I think all these things you said, you want to put it in the diary because someday you're going to become somebody famous. People are going to ask, you can say like, "Hello, I started in my garage."
That's ordinary.
I have watched all of your plays. I think famous Krishna, and I was trying to guess where is this going with this one, because you've done the courtroom shows before too.
Yeah.
But this was definitely done very uniquely and very differently. Suspense it was engaging completely every step of the way,
Thank you.
which is very nice.
Thank you.
I have one question though. Why so much English? Who is the audience for this?
Interesting.
No, I was thinking if people in Chennai are sitting and watching, my family can tell them, that's going to be their question.
Right. So the thing is, courtroom you cannot make it Tamil, right? But these days in the Tamil industry also, a lot of changes are coming. Even the South industry, a lot of changes are coming. People are ready to see. For all so if you go to downside, village side, or everything, they may expect Tamil subtitle maybe or some Tamil dubbing that's needed. But people are starting to watch can you imagine?
Non-regional
My dad used to say, so in deep down village, the movie called Bobby was a super hit. It's a Tamil speaking village, was silver jubilee. So people will, if it's engaging, I think people will start looking at it. Yeah, but you're right. I was not able to reduce anywhere else.
That's okay. I was just wondering who is the audience this movie is produced for from the marketing point of view more than anything else.
I think the audience is anybody who likes good movies, because I think the language of movies have changed, and I don't mean actual language spoken, but the language of movie cinema has changed. And I think off late you'll find that there's a lot of products out there where the only thing that people want to look at is good content. There is language, subtitles they're okay with. Like people watching all sorts of stuff these days. I mean, there's movies I can quote that came from Kerala and other parts, and they're just killing it in the box office and other places. So you're right that there may be some part of the audience that might have watched this film that may not watch it. But these days we can actually pretty much make a bold movie, with a mixture of languages, even more than to Alka's point, we could have maybe had Gujarati or Punjabi in here, and they would have still watched it. It was not a big deal actually. So.
I just want to say the last thing, Prakash, I hated your character. And I was to say how well you did the role. Each one of those women, you took on a different persona and did a fabulous job. Kudos to all three of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I came here to see Adi. I went to high school with him.
This guy came all the way from Pittsburgh to come watch this.
So I knew he was special, but you guys are on the verge of something international. And I know, not just in India, this is going to resonate with everybody, right? It was amazing. I fall asleep at most movies that I ever go to. I'm talking 300, I'm talking Passion of the Christ. I'm falling asleep. I'm not even, I fall asleep in all of them. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was blown away. So I do have a question about how do you come up with such an incredible plot and all these twists and changes? I'm really interested.
That's a great question, because being non-linear in a crime drama, it's not an easy joke. But why as a filmmaker I took it, I don't know. I took it, but once after getting into it, Then when they found out, oh my God, yeah, the more amount of time I go and come back, I need to maintain the continuity and the plot should go move. It was difficult, but a lot of homework was needed for that. So that's one difficulty I had. And again, to answer your question, how did you come up with the plot? That's what I do.
Yeah. I spoke to Mary Higgins Clark once about her books, and she said that most of them are inspired by true stories. I'm curious of any of that. And the other thing I was going to say is that you have a dilemma right now, because I think if Aditya, he's gone by a lot of names since I've known him.
He's known me for a long time.
I think once we get him some acting classes, he's got to be on the other side too. So
No. I'm good with the
he
music.
says that now, but
Really? You act? No, not at all, man.
no, just wait. Look at him.
He's
Look
acting,
at him.
he's
Come on.
acting
Who wants
now.
to see a deal here? Let's go.
He doesn't know he's acting in the next film, so he just doesn't know that. One quick thing that Alka mentioned and you mentioned too that I just want to correct is this movie is not getting released just in India. It is going to get released everywhere. It's going to go through India through the international circuit. So it's just a distribution route, but it's going to go up in theaters here and OTT as well.
So on that wonderful note, we unfortunately need to wrap up. Thank you for making a beautiful film in Austin. It's really an ode to Austin. And we all see Austin through the movie. Thank you for making a real film while it's a 7 hour. So very engaging and involving the community. You've involved, you've created producers and executive producers in the South Asian community. Thanks to what you did, you've given everybody something to look forward to, and I know you have plans. I'd love for you to share them.
Yeah, I think the first thing is I want to thank a lot of people who came together to make the film, right? So from the background actors, to the producers, to the volunteers, to the drivers, to the people who made food, it's just incredible. I think there were about 150 plus people involved in the film in some capacity. Everybody Austin based, right? So and so it's truly a community effort in making something like this. Starting from funding all the way to dropping people off at the airport. So that's the full journey of that. Now, what's coming up? So I was mentioning the other day that we definitely have plans to make this a regular affair, and what that means is we want to continue to do this. The thing where we provide opportunities to local talent in combination with international talent, so we're able to create marketable pictures at the same time, give the kind of exposure that local talent deserves. And that's something that Attendant will continue to do again in the coming years, and at least make a film a year, maybe more. But like I said, I mean, these guys are great examples of local talent that have been waiting in the wings for a long time. So it's really about showcasing them, and we'll continue to do that. So if you have a passion for film, any capacity, don't hold back. Come talk to us at something. You may be on the crew. You may get trained. You may become an actor. You can audition. So there's many things to do. You may get into production, whatever it is, right? So if you have a passion for film, people who are looking to do more things locally for international projects, send them our way.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again, and thank you
all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you all.